What does it take to change the world? Again and again. A mind that never stops thinking. A spirit that refuses to give up. This is the story of a man who was once bullied in school and is now building rockets for Mars. From sleeping on office floors to building billion-dollar empires, this is the extraordinary journey of Elon Musk. Stay tuned, because this story is far more human than you think. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. A quiet, curious kid, obsessed with books, computers, and science fiction. While other kids were out playing, Elon was reading encyclopedias for fun. At just 12 years old, he taught himself to code and sold his first video game, Blastar, for $500. But life wasn't easy. He was relentlessly bullied in school, once even thrown down a flight of stairs. At home, things weren't much better. His relationship with his father was cold and strained. Elon often escaped into his imagination, dreaming of other worlds, galaxies, and futures that seemed impossible. But he didn't just dream, he built. At 17, Elon made a bold decision. He left South Africa alone, with barely any money, and moved to Canada, seeking freedom and a future. He did odd jobs to survive, from cleaning boilers to working on farms. Eventually, he made his way to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. There, he studied physics and economics. But more than anything, he developed a deep belief. If something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. In 1995, Elon dropped out of a PhD program at Stanford after just 2 days. Why? Because the internet was booming, and he wanted in. He started Zip2, a software company, with his brother Kimball. They had no money, no place to live. They slept in their office and showered at the YMCA. Musk coded by day and night. He was rejected by venture capitalists over and over, but persistence paid off. In 1999, Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Elon walked away with $22 million. Did he relax? Not a chance. He used that money to build something even bigger. Elon co-founded X.com, one of the first online banks. It later became PayPal. But even here, he faced resistance. The board removed him as CEO while he was on vacation. Still, he owned shares. And when PayPal was sold to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk made $180 million. Most people would retire, but Musk, he risked it all again. This time on his 3 biggest dreams: space, electric cars, artificial intelligence. In 2002, Elon founded SpaceX. People laughed. A private space company, competing with NASA. He poured millions of his own money into building rockets. The first rocket launch failed. Second, failed. Third, failed again. He was on the edge of bankruptcy. The fourth launch had to work. And finally, it succeeded. SpaceX became the first private company to launch a rocket into orbit. Years later, it would deliver cargo to the International Space Station, land reusable rockets, and become NASA's #1 partner. Musk was turning science fiction into science fact. Next came Tesla, an electric car company when electric cars were a joke. Elon wasn't the original founder, but he invested early and became the face of Tesla. The company struggled for years. Production delays, financial problems, harsh critics. Elon worked 120 hours a week, sleeping in the factory. At one point, Tesla had only weeks of cash left. But with sheer grit and innovation, Tesla survived and thrived. The Model S, Model 3, and Cybertruck turned the car industry upside down. Today, Tesla is one of the most valuable car companies in the world. But Musk wasn't done. He launched Neuralink, aiming to connect brains with computers. He created the Boring Company digging tunnels to solve traffic. He even unveiled a humanoid robot, Optimus. And then, in 2022, he bought Twitter, later renamed X, promising to bring free speech and bold changes to social media. Controversial? Yes. Focused? Always. Today, Elon Musk is one of the richest and most influential people on Earth. He's sending humans to space, building electric vehicles, and pushing AI boundaries. But success didn't come easy. He faced failure, mockery, burnout, and near collapse. More than once. His companies were days from bankruptcy. He risked everything, again and again. But he never stopped believing. Here are a few words that define Elon Musk's journey. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Elon Musk's story isn't just about rockets and riches. It's about resilience, vision, and the courage to be different. In a world full of followers, he dared to lead through sleepless nights, setbacks, and impossible odds. You don't have to agree with everything he says or does. But one thing is certain: Elon Musk changed the world, and he's just getting started. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, sometimes the future belongs to those who are crazy enough to build it.